Hey guys, welcome back. Stav here, Malaka MotorSports. I want to do a quick little update on the B5 VR6, the Hibiscus, the 12 valve, the fast one out of the both cars. There's the slow one if you guys don't remember it. Most people don't really care. I want to do a quick little update on my car because it's been about 3 weeks since I've shown you guys all the updates, and since George did the oil cooler sandwich plate fix for my car, there's no more leaks. Surprisingly, George fixed it. I don't know. This has got to be history 2020. George fixes something. So we're gonna do a little update on my car and possibly a little drive. So in the last 3 weeks, we've been doing like logs, revisions, tuning. We got my car up to 38 psi. The car feels amazing. It feels fast. It's great. It's the first time, like, and even when on the stock block, when I was kind of like tinkering with the tuning myself and trying to figure out what does AFR mean and all these other things. We have Nick now remote tuning. Nick is from iRoz Motorsport. You guys probably saw his B5 Black Avant doing burnouts in front of the shop. He's been remote tuning my car. The car, it feels really strong, really smooth through the RPM range. He fixed some issues that I had with the Mac valve, and correctly now it's monitoring boost control, which is, I gotta say, like, I was kind of not a believer on the Mac valve before because I was tuning it, nor did I know what I was doing. So I kind of switched to like a manual boost controller because that's easy, and once you set it, it's not gonna move anywhere. But being able to switch on the fly with just the click of a button on the laptop is a really nice option. And when we try to do boost by gear and everything else, this is really going to come in handy. So Nick fixed a couple of my issues. I originally with the stock block, and it's nothing to do with the motor. Whenever you would press the pedal down like fast, the car would stumble and stutter a little bit. So if you had to like slowly get into the pedal, like modulate it, kind of like how you do the clutch pedal. When I had the single disc and it was a 4-puck, which made the car really hard to drive because between trying to modulate an aluminum flywheel with a 4-puck clutch, if you guys an unsprung 4-puck clutch, and then trying to modulate the pedal, it became kind of a hassle to drive. I enjoyed it, but other people couldn't drive my car, which is not a bad thing, because then I couldn't blame anybody else for breaking things other than myself. But a couple little updates we did here I want to show you guys. So one day while doing logs, we hit something in the road. I think like a little like drill bit, like was on the road while doing like pulls. I ended up putting my car down. Like we ended up getting the car home because we were just a few blocks away while doing these pulls. So, we went to a factory-style radiator. I actually put a factory radiator in, no longer the thick-core Chinese radiator that I have in it before. Actually, surprisingly, because it's a thin core and these are low CFM fans, on the standalone, I've been monitoring temps on the same exact degree day. The car actually runs way cooler because before, with the fan being so thick, being a 52-millimeter core, the fans didn't blow completely through the core. So if you had the fans on, you put your hand on the opposite side, like right here. You put your hands right here. You wouldn't feel the air blow because the core was thicker. Well, here you feel the air going completely through the radiator. I end up seeing a drop in 4 to 5 degrees Celsius temps on the standalone, and now my fans actually regulate, like they go on and off, where before, once it reached temperature, the fans always stayed running. So we'll definitely see in the summertime how well this setup runs, but right now on the same, temperature day, when we swap from the other radiator to this, and I have logs, the coolant temp is actually working way better. The fans are working the way they should. They're not staying on 24/7. So I might stay with the factory radiator or buy like another aluminum radiator, like custom-made one. We'll see down the road. We're just testing that out now. I ended up fixing my intercooler pipes, which some people commented on before, where the intercooler pipe would kind of go here at an angle. Now it's completely straight, completely in. We boost leak checked everything. Definitely not seeing any boost leaks now from the turbo all the way to the intake. So that's a really good thing. Another really cool piece that iRoz Motorsports makes, and I saw this on George's 1000 kit when Hank posted a picture, is, if you see here, I have these temporary wastegate lines, which kind of runs over the tubular header. Not ideal, definitely, too hot, but it hasn't, we're not going to leave this. But then you see we leave the Mac valve here running right there, but it's kind of like a ugly setup, hoses going everywhere. Hank actually offers this piece, which I don't know if how well you could, yeah, you could see it pretty well. It's the piece that goes over the inlet of the compressor housing, and you can mount the right here. These two bolts. You can mount the wastegate right here, and then we can run short lines just from the wastegate. So I'm gonna end up rerouting everything this week and maybe going to like an AN style fittings to clean it up, ensure no boost leaks there, no wastegate leaks. Obviously, you want everything, you want everything to run optimally. But I could say this: the car is running optimal. The car is running fast. We're not out of fuel yet on the single pump setup that I have in the car at 38 psi. But we are at a clutch. That's one thing I could say. I'm gonna go for a little drive today. I'm gonna give you guys you guys can go through the RPM range, hear how the car's running. Car's running really smooth. I'm really surprised how well we've been able to get the car to run with Nick tuning the car, remote tuning, never seeing it. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I never thought I honestly thought that we'd have to take the car to him, like leave the car there for a week, and just through the gift of sending logs back and forth through email, we've really gotten this car to run really, really well. But we definitely going to have to do a clutch option on this car. I'm running the Tilton twin disc with the 034 flywheel. At 35 psi it holds. At 38 psi it's slipping. I spoke to the guys at Tilton, and they're saying that they have another option. Apparently, there's different options on the pressure plate, different springs for clamping load. When they originally sell these kits, there's like a base model, which apparently is what I have. And there's another option where they can add another 150 foot-pounds of torque holding. It's a relatively cheap option. It's like $150, $200. But again, got to go through the pain of pulling the motor, sending it out. But they're in Santa Barbara, so it's really nice that we could take it out, and they said a 5-day turnaround. So, we'll have the car down for a week and put it back together and then test out that theory. Because the next option after we're done, we're like, maxed out on the turbo, 40, 41, 42 PSI, where we stop seeing power gains. I want to throw in a 200 wet shot of nitrous on this car and then take it to, so I'm going to need more fuel. I'm going to need more fuel, and I'm going to need more clutch. So it's one of those things that maybe we're going to address both those situations relatively really short. The clutch we're going to have to do now. But down the line, we might, have to go to a triple disc, which is a really nice option. I've never ran one, never driven a car that had a triple disc option in it. George's car happens to have the Tilton carbon setup, which is a really nice setup, but not really meant for street driving. It's not really meant to put a lot of high miles on it. And the way that me and George drove the car, like this car has been running now for 3 weeks. I think I've put 1,900 miles on it, which is more than most people put in a year on their high horsepower setups. It's me and George definitely like to drive our cars, so I definitely need to address the situation because I'm not willing to compromise and run less power. Because if I want to run less power, I would have done a 24 valve. But we're trying to get all the horsepower we can. But everything looks good. The logs look great. Like I said, we hit 35, 38. There's no sputtering. I switched the spark plugs to BKR 9 EIXs from the BKR 7s that I used to run on the old setup. They're just a fairly colder plug. They're really good. George runs them in his car, and a lot of big turbo VR6 guys really like those, and they're fairly cheap. I think they're like $5 or $6 a plug. But other than that, everything seems to be running really well. No oil leaks, no coolant leaks, which is, something that I definitely thought in the past. Let's go for a drive. I want to show you guys exactly what the car feels like right now. Obviously, we're not going to be able to get into high boost because the car's once you get into the car's tuned right now for 38 psi, but it slips on full load. But if you put it down to 35, 34, it will definitely hold it. We need to figure out an option for that because, wanting to go drag racing and driving the car, we need a clutch that's definitely more sturdy. And Tilton does have options, which is great, and they're willing to work with us. And Gary, I believe his name is, at Tilton, was really nice to us on the phone and kind of told me all my options and what he would recommend. So we're going to try the next pressure plate option, which is like the more extreme setup. The reason that they don't offer that initially is because of the higher pressure plate, it changes the pedal feel. Maybe, it's not exactly what everybody needs. So, not everybody's trying to go for 8,000-9,000 wheel, so it's not necessarily necessary. But for guys like us, they have options. We're definitely going to be trying out those options. So let's go for a drive and see how the car. So as you see, this is my FEMS ECU. It's on the laptop. I'm gonna go for a log and a drive. The car is at 71 degrees Celsius coolant temp. Just letting it hit 80, 85 before I start driving. You know, I'm not obviously not gonna get on it because, you know, the oil temps are still low, but you know, just wanted to show you guys exactly what the operating system looks like. You know, you get to see things like lambda and, you know, your RPMs, the throttle position, all the things that you need, you know, your E85 sensor and all that. Yeah, we're about to go for a drive. Just wanted to show you guys this real quick, give you a little insight. After we get the new clutch in the car, if you guys are interested, you know, you guys say in the comments below, I will do a, you know, I will show you in depth all the logs, you know, how much boost we hit per log and how we're increasing, you know, we're going up slowly, you know, each time. If you guys are interested, I don't know if you guys would be interested in something like that, because obviously, you know, it's kind of technical, not everybody really cares, but some people, you know, this is new to them, this is new to me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm definitely not an expert. I'm learning as I go, so I don't mind sharing any information that I learn as we go here, because you know, this is all, you know, useful information when you're building cars and trying to go fast. All right, guys, let's go for a drive. So let's go for a drive, guys. So, you know, I'm gonna go for a drive. I'm gonna back out of this driveway. I'm on a hill, so I don't have to put it in reverse. Pretty nice. Garage door opener. All right, let's see if I know how to drive stick. All right, guys, so I mean, car drives really smooth compared to when it was on the single disc spec stage 4. I mean, that was a great clutch for, you know, being for the price point and what it was able to hold and the abuse we put it through. I mean, I bought the car with that clutch, so it definitely handled a lot of miles and a lot of abuse. I can, you know, and it never slipped. But the twin disc is really a nice option. The drivability about it is much nicer, even with the aluminum flywheel, which sometimes people say is kind of a nuisance, you know. People say, because, you know, you have to rev it up, rev match it, and I do find a little bit of that because it is a light flywheel. But I mean, for what I'm looking to do, I kind of like the aluminum flywheel. I won't lie about that. And the Tilton clutch, that's why I'm willing to send it out to Tilton, is because other than that, I really like the way that Tilton's you know, driving, you know. So the sound of a VR6. Some people might not like them, but I don't know how that's possible. And for some of those guys who didn't watch our last video, because the car used to be louder, the car used to be running open dump. I used to have the downpipe out. It was really obnoxious, and I mean, really loud. So we ended up going back to a full 3-inch exhaust, back going straight out. Eventually I might go to a 4-inch, depending on the turbo change that I go with, because the outlet might be bigger, so I might go with a 4-inch downpipe for that. But as you can see, the car idles pretty nicely. You know, I mean, give it a good little rev. Yes, I'm that guy at the light, you know, giving the rev for no reason, and there's actually a grandma 2 feet away from me. But you know, like I said, this car is driving really nicely. I'm really surprised how well it's driving. Yeah, I mean, it sucks that the clutch is giving up on us, but I mean, that's good. I mean, that's a good sign. I think that this clutch is rated for 800 foot-pounds of torque, which might mean that we're exceeding that now. But I mean, with my aspirations, like I've talked about in the past, I would love to see this car go 9 seconds. And we're gonna put the addition of nitrous, our nitrous express system in the car, wet shot. We're gonna need more clutch, we're gonna need more fuel pumps. So these are issues that we kind of knew we're gonna need to address. I just didn't realize we were gonna have to address them this early. So you know, that's one issue. But I can say this, I mean, prior to the clutch slipping at like 33, 35 PSI, the car felt really, really strong. I mean, Nick's tuning is phenomenal. I couldn't ask for a better tuner, honestly. He's been, you know, George has helped me a bunch with everything. I mean, with working on the car. You guys saw him put the oil cooler sandwich blade in there, but without Nick, I would still be, you know, 10 PSI less. The car would still be sputtering. And what he was able to fix in just a couple revisions is amazing, you know. And then, you heard that? I don't know if you guys can hear
hear that with the GoPro video, but the car, once you get into boost, once the car hits 30-something PSI, it starts to slip. So definitely going to keep it easy, just driving it nice so you guys can see. I mean, car's running and driving. But I gotta say, I mean, we put about 1,800 miles of braking miles between, you know, 30 to 130 pulls on street logs and all that. But the motor's holding up. The clutch is the one that's giving out right now. But you know, for a car that me and George built in the garage, and the motor we built in the garage, and we're not any experts on this 67 mil turbo, I'm really, really happy that the motor's holding up so well. We haven't run into any type of issue with it yet. No oil leaks. Motor seems fine. Compression seems fine across all the cylinders. No boost leaks. This is kind of the issues we run into, man. I mean, do I wish I could do a 40 PSI pull for you guys right now and you can see my face smiling ear to ear? Yes, but we'll do that in 2 weeks when I get the clutch back. I just wanted to give you guys 55. But yeah, the car is running phenomenal. We're gonna fix the clutch. We'll be back. You know, after we fix the clutch and we turn it up even more, you know, we're not trying to just daily drive this car and take it to shows. We wanted to really do some, you know, good numbers. So we're probably gonna break a couple more items. We're ready for that. You know, as long as the motor stays intact, I hope. You know, I mean, if it does, that's, you know, that goes to show you that me and George put together a pretty, you know, good motor in the garage. All our measurements, our specs are correct. So yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you guys for all the kind compliments you guys give me, and some of the people that have messaged us with good ideas. We've used some of them when putting the motor together. Definitely couldn't do it without you guys and some of the support. Thank you to everybody involved, and you know, I think what we'll do though is, since George's car, the clutches need to be shimmed. He talked about that once before. We, you know, since he's gotten the RS3 back and he's enjoying that car, we've kind of let it sit. I think we'll end up pulling both motors at the same time, sending the clutches out. You know, a week turnaround, and we'll be able to get those cars back up, both these cars back up and running pretty soon. So I'm really excited about that, and we'll see what this car can do at 41, 42, shoot, maybe 45 PSI, you never know. But I gotta say, with the 2,000 miles driving review on the CAE shifter, this is by far the best mod I've ever done to this car, or any car, to be honest with you. The B5 shifter, no matter what bushings you put into it and whatever, it can make the shifting experience feel better. But it's I wish I could like show you guys how well this feels, like you guys could all experience it. I love the notchiness. I love the mechanical feel of it when you're like going into gear. You know exactly what you're into because it's clicking into gear. It's a very short throw. Like, I don't know if you guys can see. It's literally, you know, the shortest throw that I've ever seen in the B5. But it's a really nice shifter. I mean, my other shifter was 20 years old, fully worn out, so it needed some updating. But you can't beat the CAE shifter. I've yet to drive anything that I like anywhere near as this. You know, because I know some of you guys saw the install video and were asking like, hey, you know, what do you feel about this? And you know, we really didn't do any driving videos yet, so I mean, that's my honest opinion about the CAE shifter. Best mod I've done so far to this car, because it changes everything about like the feel of it. Kind of some people don't like the B5 shifter to begin with because of the fact that it kind of doesn't feel engaging and it feels kind of loose even when it's brand new. So being able to put this CAE shifter and acquiring one, because again, they are expensive, but when you see all the gizmos and gadgets that it comes with, you realize it's a high quality piece of aluminum here. So I can say the install went really well, and driving around is even easier. As you guys see, it's an easy shifter to drive. But yeah, I mean, that's my review on the CAE shifter. George drove the car. I actually let George drive the car last week. He told me he loves the shifter. He's thinking about getting one. He has a JHM shifter, which he loves also, because definitely improves the feel of the car over a stock shifter. But he said if he's definitely thinking about getting into one of these, which I honestly don't blame him. It's quite changes the shifting experience, makes it really enjoyable. So that's my review, guys, and to the next video on the B5. Again, the car will be apart, but we'll be fixing it rather soon once I get the clutches back from Tilton. Luckily, it's a very cheap update, and I appreciate you guys watching. Talk to you guys later.